Hey girl, when was the last time you rested without explaining yourself? Exactly. We talk about hustle, but success isn't just about grinding, it's about sustaining. So go ahead and grab your cup because we need to talk about this.
Been that, still that, will always be mwah, that girl.
Hey y'all, it's your girl Mikkel back with another episode. And this episode is titled Sis, You Deserve Softness. So we're going to be talking about why resting is a part of the grind, okay? So today's breakdown, because I want to, keep it clear because, I am a yapper. I will have us here 30 minutes running my mouth. But I just wanted to talk about how today, in this day and age, we are obsessed with hustle culture. We never sleep. We never tired. What Kevin say? He got 6 jobs. He don't get tired. So I know that's my baby daddy. I love him. But all of that is just glorifying burnout. It's just not realistic to uphold, okay? So today we're going to talk about how rest is productive for you. It's not lazy. Okay? Signs of you overworking yourself, because you probably listening and thinking this don't apply to you. It do. Balancing ambition with self-care, and then just some tips on how to create a soft life, because I don't think we all understand exactly what a soft life is. So first we're going to talk about how rest is productive. So I want you to think about yourself, or your mindset, or your body, your mindset, your energy is just like an athlete. So athletes have to play hard and strenuous at one point of the week, right? Most times they practicing, but they also have a recovery day. And so recovery day is just a day that they focus on healing themselves, allowing their bodies to heal. Because in reality, if you are tired, if you're exhausted, if you're overworked, you're going to make mistakes, silly mistakes that you know not to make. You're going to be overwhelmed, so you're going to be frustrated. You're going to be in a terrible, funky mood. And you're not going to be as creative, to be honest. So just keeping that in mind and how you operate, have you taken a recovery day for all of the work that you've been putting in? Rest allows for your brain to function properly, right? So it gives you your best ideas while you are in the shower or sleep. You have a really, really great dream about something that you can make come to life. Or when you're just chilling or chatting with your homegirls, when you're in a good mood, when you're in a good space, you tend to have better ideas, which makes sense because it gives your body and your mind enough time to evaluate and absorb all of the things that you've exposed it to throughout this time of working hard. Giving yourself that recovery time just really keeps you alive in a sense, and it keeps you in a good mindset. So, to be clear, to keep it the mantra right now, rest is productive. Rest is productive. It's allowing yourself to produce these amazing and incredible things because you have the rest to allow your brain to function and recover, as well as your body, to be honest. So what I want you to do is I'm going to give you a checklist of things that can kind of indicate that you are overworking yourself, right? Signs of overworking. So the first one is you wake up tired even after 8 hours of sleep. That is a telltale sign that you are exhausted, because it's not that your body is tired, it's your mind. Your mind has been racing, you don't get good sleep. I know on TikTok they trying to sell y'all on them little drinks about high cortisol. High cortisol is attached to stress. And if you allow yourself to stress, you're never going to feel tired. I mean, you're never going to feel rested, to be honest. The next one is you feel guilty taking a break. So especially for the moms out there, for the black women out here, if you sitting down not doing nothing, you feel like somebody somewhere is pissed off. Something's not getting done. You have to take a second to rest and give yourself time to recover and just chill out. The world is not going to fall apart because you didn't do something, okay? My therapist loves to say, like, who in the world tapped you on your shoulder and told you that you were supposed to save everybody? Ask yourself that question. Who told you got to save everybody? That's not true. It's not true. People will find their own substitutes for the things that you don't provide for them, okay? So if you find yourself feeling guilty after taking a break, this is a sign of overworking. You are constantly checking your phone or email, especially during downtimes. If you cannot enjoy a time of chilling, videos, games, talking with your friends, out having fun, whatever it is that you need to do to recover, and you find yourself always checking that phone for the next thing, or you checking that email for the next thing, or you just start stressed about something looming over your back about some task, you're overworking yourself, okay? A big one, number 4, is celebrating for 5 minutes about a success and then go ahead and moving on to the next thing. Now, 5 minutes could be an exaggeration, but I tend to find that first generations, black women, oldest daughters, all things that apply to me, tend to reach a goal that they've set and then immediately pass on to the next, right? So they don't care. They like, all right, I graduated. Now I got to find me a good job. I done found me a good job. Now I got to get another degree to make more money. I done got the degree to make more money. I need to make more money. And it's literally just a cycle. It's a cycle. You've actually had no time to enjoy the life that you're living right now because you're so worried about the next thing. And people have all these sayings all over social media, but it's like you never even enjoyed what you prayed for because you're too busy praying for the next thing. So just keeping that in mind. And then last but not least, you feel like that no matter what you do, that it's not enough. And that is a telltale sign, right? You can't satisfy your need to satisfy other people or satisfy others. You're overworking. You have extended yourself past safety, to be honest. So just keeping that in mind. And if you said yes to any of these things, so sorry to say, honey, you are overworking. Next is balancing ambition with self-care. So when we think about being healthy or healing, they love buzzwords. Really what you're doing in healing and growing up is figuring out a balance, right? So figuring out where's your cutoff. I love to say it's you getting pissed off but not resulting to violence. It's you going out to turn up with your girls but not being so drunk that you end up in the ER. You know what I'm saying? It's about balance. When is your cutoff? And so this is the same thing. Being ambitious, when is your cutoff to say, okay, I need to take care of myself? And so a couple of things that we just want to highlight. But the first one is working smarter, not harder. The most successful people that you know, leaders in this world, the richest people you know how to delegate. They know how to attack what's important and leave the rest behind. You have to master that skill to get to those levels because 9 times out of 10, the hardest working person is probably the least paid. And you know that to be true. The next one is an 80-20 rule. So 20% of your effort produces 80% of your result. If you operate like that, right? If you are only going to focus on one thing and you give it 20% of your effort, 20% of your plan, 20%, if you do that one thing that can push in 80% of your results, right? Good or bad, because sometimes you give a little bit, give something the wrong attention. It turn out 80% of your results are reflected off of that one decision. But if you pick that one thing to focus on in a day, that's the most important. Most times you'll kind of see better benefits. Not to be, unrealistic, but if you get off that phone, right? And you hammer in some good business, answer some emails, make some plans, do the next step, woo for maybe even an hour straight. 9 times out of 10, you probably done more than if you were to sit at that laptop all day and do nothing. You're doing nothing because you on the phone, you texting, you chatting, you watching TikToks, you on social media. You doing all these things and ain't getting nothing done. When you could really hyper focus for a short amount of time and really get a lot done and not have to worry about the rest of your day. The next one is the power of no. So it's a quote that I got written down here and it says, every yes for something else is a no for yourself. And I get it. I promise you I do. As a person who help folks who ain't even asked for help, okay? We are trying to fill in some hole of being the oldest child or being the only child or being the first generation or being a black woman in itself. You are trying to help something or heal something or help everybody else. You see all the things that you needed when you grew up and you see all the things, you know what it felt like. You can empathize. Cool, great, wonderful. People like that help the world go round. They think about others. It is important. However, it cannot overwhelm every point of your waking life. If that's the only thing you do all day, you have not taken care of yourself at all. And the worst thing you could do is continue to ignore yourself because eventually life will three-piece you. Not all you can focus on is yourself. Now you back wishing that everything was better, It was a TikTok that I was watching, and the TikTok, it was about this lady who found out she had like heart disease from stress. She was a black woman. And she was like, I was out here stressing, worried about everybody else. And now I got this heart disease. And what are people? They're nowhere. You know why? Because people will find somewhere else to get their fix. If you don't give it to them, they'll find somewhere else. Steve Harvey morning show, we used to watch it all the time. Well, not watch it, but listen to it on the radio on the way to school, etc., etc. But he said this one thing where he was like, if somebody called and asked for money, he wait for 2 weeks to respond. Because by the end of them 2 weeks, they don't even need the money no more. You know why? Because people will find ways. And it's arrogant of you and me, same, to think that these people cannot fend for themselves without you. It's not even about you helping them. I mean, you helping them is a piece of it, but it's an underlying feeling of needing to be needed. And that's deeper. That's way deeper. Okay? So just keep that in mind. Why are you actually doing this? Did anybody ask you to do this? Will their life fall apart if you don't do this? Like, asking yourself, what is the purpose of doing this? I know one of my friends' birthday is coming up, and I was like, oh, I'm finna buy that bitch a billboard. And then I stopped. That bitch ain't never asked me for no billboard. I don't even know where this came from. You know what? My therapist literally said it's because you want a billboard. You want a billboard, so you're going to buy somebody else a billboard. Makes sense. I would say do that with all of your decisions. Why I want to buy this girl a brand new bag? Because I want a brand new bag. Duh. Focusing. Next is work-life boundaries. So you don't need to respond to that email at 10 o'clock. I'm so sorry. If it waited all day till 10 o'clock, it could wait till 8 o'clock the next morning. Remember, we're overworking ourselves for jobs and hopes of promotions when reality happens, and we've talked about this in the episode before. When reality happens, when things happen, when you get sick, when you get pregnant, when whatever the case may be, they're going to replace you. They're going to replace you, honey. You know why they texted you at 10 o'clock, emailed you at 10 o'clock to do it, and they didn't do it themselves? It's because it's delegating. They delegated it. And so now you have to delegate your time and say, well, I'll do it tomorrow. That'll be the first thing I do tomorrow. And you don't have to respond. You can just say it to yourself. That'll be the first thing I do tomorrow. Don't let these people overwork you because they know that you, for lack of better words, pussy. So you gonna do it. No, absolutely not. And then last but not least, energy management over time management. So what this means is, again, delegating. What is the most important thing? What is the most important thing versus let me do everything? What is the most important thing? Because some things, truthfully, do have to get done that day. Whereas other things can get done 2-3 days from now. Know where that lies. Check off the things that need to get done. If you have energy to do the other things, do them. If you don't, that's why you have 2 or 3 days to do them. Let's put it in our minds, okay? Put it in our minds. Get us some checklists. Make us a plan. And so last but not least is how to create this soft life. So there's an idea that soft life and luxury hand in hand. That is not true. You do not have to have $1 billion to get a soft life. A soft life is taking care of you and enjoying your life, right? Because if you really look back right now, are you enjoying every aspect of your life? Anything that you're not changing, you are choosing. Anything that you are not changing, you are choosing. That's just what that is. That is it. Because if you didn't like it that much, you would change it, right? So, couple of things on how to live the soft life without busting your pockets wide open, right? Realistic ways to have a soft life is moving with intention. So a lot of people I find rush through life. And when I say rush through life, you get up, you just threw something on because you really had no plan for the day. Now you trying to do 5 million things and you're overwhelmed, you're overstimulated, you're frustrated because things are not working, and you're disappointed in the day because you actually got nothing done. That's because you didn't move with intention. So today I got this little work collar on, and it's because I knew I had a meeting at somebody's school today. So I said, okay, let me look like I got a meeting at somebody's school today. That's why. And I checked the weather just to make sure I ain't dressed crazy. You know what I'm saying? Moving with intentions. Okay, this is the plan for the day. And I'm not saying plan out every second of your day because that's not realistic and sounds very uncomfortable. But what I'm saying is find 3 or 4 things that you know you want to do for the day. It could be self-care. It could be work related. It could be house related because that as well. And then check those things off, and you'll feel more accomplished, and you'll be happier, and you'll have more time to relax than trying to do a million things that you ain't even wrote down. So does it really need to be done, or did you just happen to see it and all of a sudden it sparked an idea, right? Just keeping our brains organized, because we work better in organization. Just the truth. Prioritizing your peace. So instead of constantly seeking for external validation, you are giving yourself the peace that you need. This could be speaking nicely to yourself, positive self-talk, right? This could be doing things that make you happy, including a hobby, doing whatever it is to make you feel good about yourself without waiting for the next person to tell you that you did a good job. And we talked about that in the episode prior to. That stems from you are chasing somebody else's goals and not focused in your own lane. You have to be focused in your own lane. That's how you get peace. The next one is making money work for you. So investing in yourself, investing in things that work for you, that you can get back on, that you don't have to always focus on. Finding passive incomes. So my goal this year is to find some passive income, because eventually, I said I'm almost 30. At some point, coming very soon, I want to work 3 days a week. I don't want to work 5 days a week. I just don't. I don't see no reason to work 5 days a week. When there's some people making the same amount of money I'm making, they work 1 day a week. I got to find a plan, right? So that's a goal. And of course, when I reach that, figure out a plan, because I'm studying other content creators and YouTubers that do things outside of like content creation and YouTube, and that they have passive income with, right? I want to do the same thing. Once I get the game, I'm going to go ahead and put y'all on. Period. Last but not least, struggle culture. Getting rid of struggle culture, or as I say, a poverty mindset. You have to stop thinking that you have to struggle to get good things, or you have to struggle to get success. Somebody told you that. That was somebody who was wishing on your downfall. You don't have to struggle for love. You don't have to struggle for success. You don't have to do none of that. You don't have to. The United States has this weird concept from a long, long time ago of pulling yourself up by your bootstraps. Half of the systems that make life hard was put in place by the same niggas that told you to pull yourself up by the bootstraps. So that don't make no sense. Stop listening to them, right? It's the idea of attraction, right? So what you believe is what you will attract. They did a study, and I wish I could remember where the study was from, but they talked about how they did a study and they told somebody to count how many, let's say, was in a newspaper, right? But on the third page, it said there are 500 does in this newspaper. People who already deem themselves as lucky and successful without having stress, they noticed it. They said, oh, boom, hey, it's 500, close the newspaper, I'm done. Whereas there's some people who struggle to count every word in that newspaper. That is the difference. That is the difference between a struggle mindset and a mindset of wealth and opportunity. Once you see that you have opportunities, you'll notice different things that help you be successful without any hard work. Whereas people who don't feel like opportunity comes to them, who don't feel like they deserve good things without struggling, all they find is struggle. All they find is the hard stuff. They don't find nothing easy because they ain't looking for nothing easy. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So just putting that in mind and applying that to your everyday life. Like, I don't want to struggle. Life can be easy for me. Wealth can come to me easily. Helps you refresh your brain. It helps your brain reprogram to look for things that make wealth come easily for you. So just keeping that in mind. Using your resources, letting go of that struggle. Let go of the struggle bus. Struggle bus don't do nothing for you. Okay? So this week's challenge, I think I left you with a challenge last week, but this week I'm going to leave you with a challenge. And it's to take one intentional break over the next week. And that could be taking a Sunday off, putting your phone on D&D and taking a good shower or a nap, or, taking a hot bubble bath or going for a walk, but putting your phone on D&D, not being disturbed with the outside world, and just giving yourself time to be with yourself, to be happy, or to be at peace, or maybe to just reflect on what you got going on, because the theme for the year is self-reflection. Did nobody tell you? I'm telling you now. The theme for the year is self-reflection. We need to look at ourselves so we can be our best selves. And the more we just busy work, the more we just focus on other things, we don't get the time to really reflect and see where I'm at in this world. Or just do a full self-care day. Get your hair done, get your nails did, with the woo. When I do that, I only do it when I really got big events coming up. But I'm going to see Project Pat with my wife in April, so I'm gonna have to go be a baddie real fast, go get my things done. But you still bad just like this. FYI. Okay, you don't need a 30-inch bust down to be a bad bitch. FYI. But anyway, go do all my self-care stuff as well. I'll take you along with me just to show you what I do. It ain't too much and it don't hit the pockets too bad, except my hair. I love getting my hair did. But once you do it over this next week, I want you to tag me in a Instagram story, TikTok story, whatever the case may be. Tag me in what you did so I can see it. So I can see it in real life. My Instagram and TikTok handle is Mikhail J on all platforms. My name is the same on all platforms. Mikhail J _ boom, and you'll see me there. So yeah, that's the challenge for this week. And just to reiterate, rest is not a luxury. Rest is not a luxury. Rest is not a luxury. It is a necessity. You can be ambitious and well rested at the same time. So, if this episode spoke to you and you like what you hear and you think that this is your cup of tea and you want to FaceTime with me, make sure that you like, comment, and be subscribed to our community of well-read, well-focused, well-rounded women here on YouTube. And I will see you next week.
Been that, still that, will always be that girl.